Guys, welcome to the Moist Cheeks podcast. Guys, we have a pretty rad guest on today.
Dude, I actually couldn't sleep last night. I got like 2 hours of sleep.
I was up till 3 a.m. reading the intro over and over and over again.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, I just realized how dumb this name was until we had a guest. Like, it's so bad.
The Moist Cheeks podcast.
Yeah. And he was the first person I hit up, and right away he agreed to do it, and I was super stoked on it.
And by the end of this, he's gonna regret it.
Yeah. Guys, the first guest on the Moist Cheeks podcast is a member of one of the gnarliest crews, the Nitro Circus. They've put out at least 8 DVDs, 2 seasons of their original TV show, a full-length movie, and a 4-season show based on live stunt displays all around the world. He's currently the host of The Explosion Show, launched in 2020 on the Science Channel. It's now available on Amazon Prime, Hulu, and a bunch of other spots. And I am super honored to say, welcome, Streetbike Tommy.
You!
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Dude, you're so jolly and happy. It's so such a nice face to see. I was worried it would be intimidating.
Yeah, I love that he looks like Santa, but like if he did Slim Fast.
Yeah, dude. No, Tommy. Again, I just want to say thank you, and I could speak for all of us that we've been fans for a very long time, and yeah, man. So it really is awesome that you just agreed to do this right away. I sent him. I DM'd him the logo.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I watch all your stuff, and Zach speaks super highly of you.
Yeah.
And friends of friends, why not?
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. That means a lot. The first time we actually met, you probably don't remember because it was super quick. It was at Bam's first party.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I do remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a shit show.
Yeah, it was... The first one wasn't too bad. It was actually super rad.
Yeah.
The second one was a shit show. You didn't go to the second one, right?
No, I didn't make it up to the second one. There was no organization, and it's just super hard with what I got going on in life, because I've made really terrible life decisions over the years.
Oh, dude, no way. Same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't really get away, just to kind of throw, some days away. I kind of have to be doing something.
Yeah.
And those parties are dope, but at that time, I was running my restaurant. I couldn't leave.
Mm-hmm.
It was just super hard to get away. So, and the first one I was doing, my food truck at Sam's, and I couldn't get it going, man. It was too chaotic. There was no structure to the party.
Totally.
Kind of shoved.
Yeah.
And then the cops busted it, and it was just from a monetary standpoint, you couldn't really do anything. It was cool. I love Bam. That's my guy.
Yeah.
But it kind of kicked me in the dick financially that weekend. But it's life. It happens.
Yeah.
Kind of part of the love of that guy is that you never really know what's going to happen.
Yeah, dude. And that night was, like you said, it was so chaotic, and that was my first experience with anything like that. Because I at that time I've only known Zach for 7-8 months, and I was strung out on heroin and homeless before I met Zach. And when I got sober, I met Zach, and I started filming for Zach. And
that's round.
Yeah, and I grew up watching you guys and Bam, Jackass, and CKY. So being able to go to Bam's and just being in the center of all that chaos, it was mind blowing to me.
Like going to Disneyland.
Yeah. And
but if Disney was ran by a crackhead.
Yeah. And that was the night that we get to Bam's, and we go to the back, and we're by the back door, and Nikki walks by, and she was like, "Oh, you're Skinny Vinny and Zach." And the first thing, and when she said that, I was like, "Oh shit, you know who I am?" And she's like, whatever you guys do, don't fuck with Bam. We're like, no. We want Bam to fuck with us. And she's like, okay, yeah, come on in. And then we go to the office, and Danny Way's in there, Andy Roy's in there, Bam, and that was the night we filmed the piss boxing at the Rocky Steps in Philly. It was fucking insane. But
That's pretty surreal.
Yeah.
Tommy, have you ever had any fans like ask you for weird requests, like if they meet you on the street? Or like, you know how like
suck your dick.
No, like how Bam, like the fans be like, yo, Bam, will you slap me? Or like Steve-O, like, will you kick me in the nuts? I don't know. Do you get recognized often?
I get recognized all the time, but I'm pretty much a normal dude. Like, people like see me at Home Depot.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah, like I'm always in like work clothes and kind of about. I'm as normal guy as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
With the I've done with, like, say, my double tenure at this point.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's and like I'm pretty approachable.
Yep.
So like I'm not like I'm never above anything. Like if somebody recognizes me, I'll sit and shoot the shit with them.
Totally.
For a good long while. Like I've had full conversations with total strangers, and they're kind of taken back by it because, like, I'm never in a real big hurry. And,
yeah.
And
Dude,
you got to
so
think
cool.
about that person, like it might be my everyday, and it doesn't matter like what I have going on, like good, bad, and different. But it's that person's one experience with seeing somebody that they feel like they have a connection with. You know what I mean? And like kind of got to respect that and give them. Because it's that one time in their life that they saw that guy, because who knows if they're ever going to get the chance to meet somebody or what they have going on in their lives. So even if if I'm having like the worst day ever, I still I'll at least pretend and like give them what they need.
Yeah.
Because I truly appreciate every single person that's ever watched my stuff and like dug what we do. Because you guys know firsthand that we don't do anything different than normal people. It's just we happen to flow in circles where they film it and we talk about it and like your podcast and stuff, where we have the ability to do it more often.
Yeah.
Well, how often are you still doing fucking crazy jumps or like skydiving or?
Now a word from our sponsors.
This episode is sponsored by True Boy Barbecue.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah. So I went in the fridge. I was super hungry.
Like usual.
Like usual. And we really don't have much in the fridge right now, and I really didn't feel like cooking vegetables and some burgers just because I'm always fucking lazy.
Yeah.
And then I remembered we're sponsored by True Boy Barbecue.
Fuck yeah. Dude.
Yay!
Again, this barbecue sauce is by far the best barbecue sauce I've ever had in my life. What about you, Khyler?
Best I've ever had, best of the West, man. I would jerk off with this barbecue sauce. So fucking good. When I come, it's going to be great.
So True Boy Barbecue, fully smoked, authentic Texas barbecue delivered to your doorstep anywhere in the United States. Free 2-day shipping for all orders over $150. Easy heating instructions. Texas barbecue experience in the comfort of your own home. Like us. We're in our own home.
Yeah.
Making this dumb podcast.
I never want to leave, baby.
Wow, don't call it dumb.
And the best thing about it is you could freeze it and save it for later, or you could eat it as soon as it gets to your fucking door.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You're going to want to eat it right away, though.
Eat it right away. Eat it right away. The last time we had sausage and ribs, this time we have this big ass brisket.
Bro,
that could feed a family of 12.
Yeah, for sure.
Or me.
Yeah.
You can enjoy smoked meats without any hassle.
Without any hassle,
guys.
Like just buy the shit.
Buy the shit. That's trueboybarbecue.com. Trueboybarbecue.com. That's TRUBOYBBQ.com. What is it, Khyler?
TrueBoyBarbecue.com. You're going to want to fucking kill yourself. No.
It's so good. You want to kill yourself.
Look, It's literally melting in my mouth.
Yeah, it's so good.
I didn't even have to chew that.
Like, why do you guys want
to chew?
Why do you guys want to miss out? Like, look at what we're eating. Look at it. Just look at it. Why are you missing out?
Yeah.
On the flavor. Savor the flavor and get some True Boy barbecue in your mouth today.
That's TRUBOYBBQ.com.
For the juiciest, most tasty barbecue you'll ever experience.
Go to TrueBoyBarbecue.com. Back to the episode.
So I pick and choose. So in the early days,
It was
like,
anything.
whatever.
Barging it, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
he leads down the fucking runway.
Oh, yeah, the Heelys, yeah.
Yeah, that is legendary, actually.
For anything, like I never said no, even when I was broken. A lot of the times, like I had ribs broken, tailbone broken,
And broken spiritually.
Yeah.
So, but like that, it didn't matter because I would saddle up and I would go film because they didn't stop filming if somebody was hurt.
Yeah.
And if you weren't part of that skit, and you're easy to forget about.
Yeah.
So, in the early days, I was game friendly. Now I just kind of like, I sign up to like the stuff that I really want to do, like anything that has to do with like car racing, because I actually have a pretty solid talent at that. And then
I actually am good at this. I'm not gonna get fucking hurt.
Yeah.
and then like, just fun stuff. Like a while back, I went, a couple years ago now, but I finally like got the ball to go skydiving, and that was really fun.
Dude, I just watched that video, and they were able to pull some strings because of your weight. And I remember Vinny got invited to go skydiving with Bam and Nikki and them, but he couldn't because he was too big.
Yeah, at the time I was like 280 or 290 or something, and they said that I had to be like 250, and I was so bummed.
Yeah. I actually had to lose the weight because I was right around 270.
Yeah.
Like I did this super crash diet, got down to 250, and even then, they were still worried about their equipment because they can build a parachute for any amount of weight out of a plane. But, you're talking $7,000 for like a custom rig.
Yeah.
So, if you're jumping rental gear, like you have to abide by their weight limitations.
Yeah.
That, it was honestly the best thing that I ever did, especially because I got to do it with Roner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like forever will be locked in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, skydiving is something that I've always wanted to do, and I just hit 250, so it's something that I'm planning on doing soon. Yeah,
that's rad, man.
Yeah,
rad.
I'm pretty fucking stoked on it. But so I want to go back to talking about like just barging it, like back in the early days, and I have to bring up the famous street bike slam.
Oh yeah,
It's one of the gnarliest fucking slams.
I was thinking about it last night, and I'm just like, every time I see it, I'm just like, I can't even believe that it's real.
Yeah,
like, it's just like not like a real. Like, how do you not fucking die?
Yeah. Okay, so what the fuck was going through your head before that? Like, were you actually gonna try to backflip it?
Front flip was what I was going for.
So you did it? No, so you did it perfectly.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah.
I think I hit my button. So like basically, that day, I met Travis like once at that point.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm a local dude from my area, which is super small. Like, I mean, I come from a very small town. We got one stoplight.
Oh,
like
shit.
one way in.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it.
So like, our famous guy was always Travis Pastrana that came out of Annapolis.
Mm-hmm.
And, he like was on commercials and stuff, and like I'd always heard his name, but me personally, like I was like small town famous, and extremely well known. Like back in MySpace days, I had like 30,000 friends.
Oh shit,
yeah.
Dude, the original clout.
Do you remember
bro.
your top 5 friends?
Top 8.
Top 8 friends.
Top 8, and then you eventually change it to like top 20.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Dude, my friends would actually get butthurt. I remember like, dude, what the fuck, man? You're my number one, bro. And then they'd go change. Like, I'm like, you guys are all my number one. I just Anyway,
I was. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to keep hearing what he was saying. You were known around Maryland, around that small town, and you had like 30,000 friends on MySpace. But what were you known for exactly?
Being a loose cannon, dude. I had so much pepper back in the day. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, like it didn't matter what. I mean, I was full tilt all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised that I'm still sitting here just because I never would, like, any opportunity to send it that came up, I was down.
Yeah.
And like, whether it was for film or not, like I just, and then like, you know, cause that's the thing. Like, I looked up to Bam and all those guys. Dunn was like my hero.
Yeah.
Like, Ryan Dunn, I was like, he's the most underrated dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, walk the earth, because everything that he was doing was so next level,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I really dug him personally. So like when I finally got to meet him, I was like, get out of here. And then like he was really cool, and like, you know, we were friends for a short time.
Yeah.
But then like Bam and stuff, like it's still to this day it's really crazy, because like that's what got me into it was CKY.
Yep.
Dude, same here.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy that you're actually saying that right now, because one of my questions was because our influences were the same. It was Jackass, CKY, you guys. So to hear that your influences were the same thing, that's kind of rad. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Crazy. We used to sit around my house, because like I bought a house like right out of high school. I bought a house because I was a construction guy and all my friends went to college, and so I was papered up. So I bought a house, and like we always had these rager parties. Mm-hmm. And we would sit around like the next day, or, you know, hangover day, and like we'd order pizzas and we'd sit around and watch those DVDs.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's what shaped it. And then I finally, like, through happenstance, how I even got to Travis's was Jim DeChamp started dating a longtime family friend of mine, and she would always have parties at her house as well. So it was like either my house or her house. And we would head over there, and at this party, we were in her parents' basement, which had like a pool table and like this like wooden console TV. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, you know, have you met Stephanie's new boyfriend Jim? He lives in Travis Pastrana town. He's so cool. And like, I was like super alpha of like my group. I was like, dude, I'm the coolest guy there is. Like, whatever.
Right. You had to be the fucking leader and the gnarliest guy around.
So everybody starts talking about him in this movie that they're making that's like Jackass. And I was all like, yeah, bullshit. Nothing's better than Jackass.
Uh-huh.
Like stop trying to pretend.
Was that the Thrillbillies?
And like, no. So they were like, go get the DVD. So like he goes out to Travis' truck, of course, which he was driving, because he was living at Travis' house at that time, and it had just been on MTV Cribs. So there was like a lot of clout with Jim, and he comes back in, and he comes in with this DVD, and just like in black Sharpie, like with somebody like wrote it like, you know, it said Nitro Circus on it, and I was like, that's the dumbest fucking name I've ever heard.
So just like some DIY DVD.
Yeah.
And he played, and it was the rough cut of Nitro 1, the DVD, as it's known today. And everybody was like freaking out the whole time, like, ooh, ah, ooh. And I was all, fuck out of here. I'm cooler than that. And like, I was like, filming myself at that time. And like, I was like running some cops on my street bike and stuff like that. And like, dude, so like I was locally known to be what he just showed me. So like all my friends were like, you guys need to hang out. You guys are the same. Tommy's crazy. And Jim was like, you know, kind of like, yeah, that's cool, man. Whatever, bro, you know. And then I kind of like, as soon as the video was over, they asked me like what I thought about it. And I was all like, you know, it's kind of cool, but man, you know, I expected a little more. You know, you guys got all that money and all resources, you know, like kind of talking shit, but like not really, like
deep down jealous.
Yeah, super jealous. dude, I was jealous as fuck. I'll tell you right now. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, so I want to do that. He basically was like, all right, well, we're actually already filming for the second one of these. Like, this one's done. And they're putting finishing touches on it, but like filming for number 2 already. And if you want to be a part of number 2, put up or shut up. We're doing a filming day
Oh,
at Travis's. It was like in 2 weeks or whatever. And they were just putting teams together. So basically at that time, Travis had like Kenny Bartram and like Ronnie Renner on his team. And then like there was like a BMX squad, skateboard squad, you know, just like different friends of his that came by. And I was just this local shithead guy that had like 0. Like I could wheelie a street bike at like 160 miles an hour.
Holy
that was
shit.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So why don't you try to front flip it?
it's funny how I got to that point, because that day it was just me and my buddies, and we were drinking beers, and I was like, all right, we gotta do something cool. And like, you know, when you have like the best ideas ever,
Yeah.
and like you're like, oh dude, if we film that, we get so much, you know, everybody think it would go viral.
I've had a lot of those ideas.
Yeah.
And they never end up how I think that, you know, this is
But
the
if
one,
you get
man.
put up by somebody that's dope that does that, you know, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, stupid, get out of here, stupid.
Yeah.
So like, we're sitting around my house with like writer's block, you know, like, what are we gonna do? And so I just jumped in my everyday vehicle at the time, which was a Lincoln Town Car, 1983 Lincoln Town Car, baby blue, purple window tint.
Big pimpin', bro.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love those big old dumb cars. And I got in it, and I just put the couch cushion in my chest, and I put my street bike helmet on, and just for no other reason than I thought it might look cool, I ran it into a tree at like 50 miles an hour.
Bro.
Folded it up, dude. And it was still backed up, and I hit it even faster. And
Jesus.
at this point, my knees had broke the dash. Like, I didn't even know that was like going to happen. Like that was like a learning experience for me that, like, you know, when you crash, like everything keeps going, not just like your chest and your head. And it hurt, but like I was good. And then like I shot it with my shotgun and popped all the tires, and it looked really low after that. And I had my buddy come by and roll over it with his truck. Like he had a jacked up S10, and he parked his truck up on it, and that was kind of cool. And then everybody's like, you gotta get your street bike out. You gotta get your street bike out. And I was like trying to put it off because the cops were looking for me. I had no tag, no license, no insurance. Like, and I was just riding everywhere on this furry bike. And every time a cop would see me, he'd spin around and chase me, and I'd have to run. Like, it didn't matter if I was like riding normal or not. Like, I was running every time I saw a cop. And I was like, all right, fuck it. So I get it out, and I go do this long ass wheelie, and I pop the motor doing a 4-mile wheelie, because when it's up like this, it starves the top of the motor of oil, and it popped my motor, but it was still running with like half power. And I was like, dude, now I got a busted ass car, busted ass bike. Like, let's house and jump my bike. Who cares? Like, you know, I would have never jumped it at that, you know, if it was running great, because that was my baby. But it was like, it's broke now. Like, let's go kind of finish her off, you know, and maybe perhaps get something cool. And I'd never jumped anything before in my life. Never jumped anything. Like, I have no jumping experience whatsoever, let alone trying to flip.
Dude, were you just shitting? Okay, so couldn't imagine just trying to jump this into the foam pit. And you're like, all right, I got a front flip on this thing.
Dude, I've been fortunate enough to go to Travis's, and to actually see that foam pit. And I think I even, dude, it's fucking insane. I think I even DM'd you when I got there to see if you were around. Yeah. And just to see that thing, it's fucking huge. It's so surreal. And
so you're like, he was fucking 20 feet
yeah,
above.
yeah. The whole time
all the way
there,
at the
the first thing I did is I saw the foam pit, and I walked around the back, and I wanted to see like because the whole time your clip was going through my head, and I was just like, what the fuck, man?
It's a death clip.
Yeah. And Travis's Pastrana Land, it's so surreal. Like, yeah, like we had the opportunity. He let us use like the quads and the UTVs and stuff, and go around in the tracks. And I was just filming. I went there with Dalton Dern and Darby Allen, and we were gonna.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we were gonna film some clips for Dalton's skate park, and they're all like, some dude backflipped a dirt bike first try, never rid a dirt bike before, into the big foam pit.
Yeah,
and they have this little foam pit in the barn, and it's like a little roll in, and it goes, and I hit the little toy trikes. I went down the roll in, went in the foam pit, and then I was like, fuck, dude, I'm at Travis Pastrana's house. I need to do something, you know, like this is probably, it might happen again, but if it doesn't, like, I have to do something. So I went. Right. I was just like, I'm horrible on a skateboard, so I tried going down the roll in into the foam pit, and I slammed so fucking hard, I shit my pants. I slammed so hard that I pooped, and it was like a roller coaster of emotions. On the top, I was like, okay, I'm at Travis's house. I'm about to do this. I have to fucking do this. All the cameras are rolling. Let's go. I slam. I'm in so much pain. And then I realized that I shit my pants. Then the feeling of embarrassment comes into play. And then I started thinking, I'm like, wait a second, I might be the first dude to poop his pants doing a stunt at Travis's house. So I was kind of stoked on that.
Well,
I mean, if it's happened, nobody said anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was. But yeah, going there, you like seeing the skate park is just unreal, like so fucking insane, and like the amount of land that he has, and like you go way in the back, and there's this huge fucking ramp for the bikes, and the whole thing is just so surreal. What's it like being surrounded by such like somebody like Travis, who's just always he's on another level of like talent?
I mean, like, it's kind of like, you don't really say it to like him, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, it's kind of crazy, man. Just like stop and like think about the situation that I'm in, because like you do forget about it. Like you kind of like, we've been friends for so long, and like he's just this dude. Like he's one of my best friends on the planet. Like I see him very regularly. Like we text, and like, you know, he's a friend, just like you're friends with these guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no difference. And then like you think about it, and you're like, holy shit. I kind of like, and you think about back in the day of like you know, the cultural icon which started it all. You know, you got Evel Knievel, and I'd always think like, man, how cool would that be to be around that guy at that time?
Yeah,
I am.
Yeah,
100%.
It's kind of like I'm in this dude's camp, you know, and I'm experiencing like this crazy lifestyle, you know, and in this moment in time, it doesn't get any cooler than to be with somebody or just around a group of people that just seem to be like it's its own like small little universe. You know what I mean? Like it like there's a center, like there's this nucleus at the middle, you know, and it's like these energies that just kind of like get sucked in that are dope, you know. So and if there's any negativity from anybody, you know, they get spit out real quick. It's kind of crazy. The gravitational pull of like just super rad people, and it's like stuff that you never think about, like just from Travis, who has an action sports background and like is a big name in action sports, but like, you know, I'm friends with these dudes that are like, you know, just for an example that you never think about, but like I'm friends with these Secret Service dudes that are like have the gnarliest job in the world, and they're like the best dudes that I know. Like they're just super rad dudes to know as people, like great friends. And they do like the rad. It's like you never would expect that growing up. You know what I mean? You're just like, nah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's so funny because it's such a surreal feeling, because we were talking about this on the last episode, because we we like to do this segment every once in a while. I mean, we've only had one episode before this, but we're thinking about doing this segment where we ask fans to send in questions that they want to ask us, you know. So I posted a thing on my story, and Bam asked where I get my fashion influence from. And these guys and these guys always give me shit because like a lot of the things I do or the way I dress like looks like Bam. And
Right.
and like even down to like having some of the same tattoos, you know, like
same in the same spot.
yeah, like because I was such a big Bam Margera fan growing up, and never in my life did I think that I can go to the castle whenever I want to go skate, you know, and that would
Brag.
if somebody
Yeah.
if somebody told me that back in the day, I'd be like, yeah, okay, you know what I mean, like I'm just some fan, you know. So it is such a surreal feeling being in like friends or working together with something that you've grown up idolizing in your early teens, you know?
Also, I want to go back to the topic of talent because me and Vinny don't have talent, and I believe there's this quote from like I think a Nitro Circus episode that you said, Tommy, where you're like, "This is better than drywall. This is better than construction." I'm like, that's always stuck with me because I'm like, you're right. You don't need to be Travis Pastrana to do what we do.
Yeah.
You know, and like I love that you were on TV at the time that you were on TV because I was like, I can relate to somebody finally because like Ryan Dunn like had no talent but he was funny.
Yeah.
You know, like he was amazing.
Yeah.
But like just Streetbike Tommy doing what he does, I'm like finally a guy for me. You know.
Yeah.
Super inspirational, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So you, I was reading that you started a restaurant. Is it just one restaurant or is it a chain of restaurants?
It was going to be a chain of restaurants, and I started a restaurant because like I'd always had like kind of like the dream of like cooking food and like owning a bar restaurant where like I could entertain and you know just because anything I do I'm just a born craftsman, so like I really put everything that I have in like doing the best version of whatever I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was like I got into barbecue and I just got immersed by it. Like I want to make the best barbecue in the world, and I'm far from that. Like it's just, but like I you know in that quest I made really great barbecue because like I did an internship, kind of like an apprenticeship or something. Basically like my good friend Cameron True that owns Bam Bam's Barbecue in Orem, Utah. He's one of the best pit in the world for sure. And he just kind of in passing was like, you know, because I'd always ask him, how do you do this? How do you do that? What temp do you do this? What temp do you do that? And he's like, dude, it's not like that. You got to just feel it. Like I was like, that's bullshit. Like just tell me, bro. Like and yeah, it wasn't until now that like, you know, I understood what he said, and I've done like thousands of briskets at this point, you know, to get to the point where, you know, it's, you know, on the same level as his. He still does a better job, but I'm on that level. And so I stayed at his house. He just in passing was like, well, why don't you come you know, stay at my place and work in my restaurant, and you'll touch 100 briskets a day, you know, at minimum. And I was like, all right. Next thing you know, I'm knocking on his door, and he's all like, holy so like, you're serious? And I was like, yeah, dude, like I got my bag in hand. And he's like, all right, I guess I'll go set up the basement. And like, I stayed in this dude's basement and worked at his restaurant for like 3 months. And
This is in Orem?
Orem, Utah. Yeah. And it's a cool little town. I mean, it's super Mormon. He's Mormon.
Yeah. I mean, I'm from Salt Lake.
Yeah.
I was actually baptized Mormon, so I know exactly. It's right next to Provo.
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I was baptized when I was like 8. But yeah.
And it's sinner ever since.
Orem's right next to like the Mormon capital, Provo.
Well, that's why he's there, is because he's you know, he's a pretty religious guy, and he's one of the better people that I know. Like he's like just a great dude, and he really opened his doors fully. Let me work in his restaurant. Like I was doing everything from sweeping floors to, salting his driveway in the winter because it was like the ice and stuff, but then I got to, season and trim briskets and then I started to cook, doing ribs and, turkey. And he really showed me the ropes of production cooking. Cause at that point in time, like I had just cooked like a brisket here and there on my Traeger.
Yeah.
And he really opened my eyes to where like, man, I could do this. And I opened a restaurant shortly after, and kind of took my best, foot forward and pursued that. Got amazing reviews. I was, 4.9, 4.8 stars on Google. It still might be up.
Hell yeah.
But I had to close, unfortunately. COVID kind of kicked me in the dick.
Fuck.
Because it was, I was just getting on my second year. But in order to get any business loans or anything, like I needed to have 2 years under my belt.
Mhm.
So when COVID happened and I needed some cash flow so I could pay my employees and keep inventory going and just see what it was about, I had no place to get money. So, and everybody's like, well, how come Travis didn't just Travis? I'm like, why does everybody in the world think that it's Travis's responsibility to pay for everything? Like
Pay for your restaurant.
Like everybody thinks I'm like this multi-millionaire, and it's like, nah, I mean, I made good money for a little while in my life, but it was not life-changing money.
Yeah.
And it wasn't consistent money. People have a very skewed perception of what the world actually is for people on TV that aren't complete A-list. Like, it's you're A-list like Brad Pitt and all that, like, and you can insulate yourself from the entire world, or like you're kind of where I am and
Yeah.
kind of have to maintain a regular job. I mean, it's and that's
What's your regular job that you do now?
Oh man, it's COVID. I fell back on my skills that I had growing up. Like I was a drywall guy growing up.
Mhm.
And I'm not a big drywall fan. Like it just kind of terrible work, and it doesn't pay very well because everybody does it so cheap now. So I fell into carpentry down in Texas, where you guys are, and I was doing a bunch of like timber frame, like post and beam kind of stuff, like those big ornate 12-inch beams and stuff that you see everywhere, with like reclaimed barnwood, shiplap, all that stuff. And then that kicked me back over here, and I'm in Maryland right now working for a company of a friend of mine, and doing a lot of like fine carpentry, like trim work and finish stuff like that. So it's a lot more fun to work with wood, but man, you carry like, I don't know, 4 times the amount of tools as you would with commercial like drywall, because all I need is like the hand tools on my tool belt. And now I got saw and miter saw and circular saw, and I got all these like angle finders, and it's crazy the amount of tools I got to carry, but the work's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say this. I've been wanting to say it the past like 15 minutes. We kind of cut you off on the fucking street bike front flip story. It literally he was getting right to the fucking like the climax of the whole stunt, and then just like fucking blue balled it. And we went into a totally different direction. So I kind of wanted to circle back to that. Well, just like you were talking about what was going through your head. You had just you said you fucked up your bike doing a wheelie because the oil wasn't, whatever. I don't know shit about fucking. So you're like, fuck it, I want to scrap it. Let's just do something gnarly with it, and then go on.
Actually got us to Travis's house, and I had only shaken the man's hand once before this. And when I got to his house, he was like, "Hey man, what's up? Jim tells me you're filming Travis thing."
Yeah. Perfect impression. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I guess, man. Like, I got some pretty good footage already. You're in trouble. Like, I got some cool stuff. And he's like, cool. I was like, do you mind if I jump my street bike in your foam pit? And keep in mind, everybody gives me shit about this whole front flip, back flip thing because I said back flip. But everybody needs to remember that back in 2004, when this was, like, the backflip had just happened. Like, it was just the newest trick, and people were still like, oh my God, like, it's a backflip. So, like, a front flip was unheard of. Like, no, that's stories of lore. Like, that'll never happen. It's just impossible. Like, at that point in time. And here I am, a drywall guy at Travis Pastrana's house, like the most famous guy that I know from Maryland. Like, his house is on MTV Cribs, and like I'm allowed at the house. Like, this is insane, Yeah. I'm asking if I can jump my street bike in his foam pit, and he says, sure, but it's going to put a lot of stress on my crane, just to make sure it's worth it. Like, do something cool. Like, can you do a trick? And I was like, I don't know. I guess I'll. And like, so I was like, I'll try a backflip, and he's like, okay, cool. And like, he just kind of mows the door and like goes and does like his filming, because like at that point in time, he was doing a stunt with his cousin, Special Greg. At that point in time, like, he was leaving the house, and his stunt that he had planned for his like video footage that he wanted for, like, because it's just a contest for best video footage. It didn't have to be anything in particular. All it had to be was good footage, and everybody had to agree. Like, all the teams would come back, we'd watch all the videos, and everybody would vote and say that was the best video of everybody, and that person would win $2,000. So he went out with Greg, and they drove probably a mile from his house, and there's a bridge not too far away, and there's a little restaurant. It's a crab house restaurant, and it's got dock seating. This is July, so it's middle of summer, and people are enjoying crabs on this dock bar setting, whatever. Middle of the day, Travis grabs Special Greg out of his truck, and his hands are bound, and he has a burlap sack over his head, and Travis pulls him out of the truck, sticks him on the edge of this bridge, right out in front of this restaurant, really, a nicer restaurant, with all these spectators basically. And he grabs a 12 gauge out of the truck and shoots a blank at him.
Oh my God. What? Dude. I love it. Yeah. What a insane idea.
And he goes
different from what he normally does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this is, I don't know if I'm even supposed to really talk about it, but fuck it, it's been long enough. But because it never saw the light of day. Like, it was never like, that footage will never see the light of day. But
wait, we have a Moist Cheeks exclusive?
Yeah. Dude.
Holy shit.
And so Greg swims out, but everybody at the dock bar at that time called 911. Now,
yeah, they saw murder.
So rewind. Everybody knows that that's Travis's truck, right? So that at that exact moment, I had jumped that little hiccup. Like, I just went in the foam pit to see what it would do, because I'd never jumped anything before in my life. And I went, Brett, and like, it was nothing. And I was like 20 miles an hour. And you being at Travis's house, like, you saw that ramp. It looked straight up and down, right?
Yeah.
And it has never jumped anything in his entire life. In my brain, it's straight up and down. I just go faster. I go higher. Like, I'll still hit this foam pit, right?
Yeah.
Nah. So,
yeah.
And my friends are the only ones there now, because everybody else went out to go film their stunts around town. And so my friends are the only ones. Chris Brown and Wayne Guessford are the only two people in this world that know that I was going for a front flip, because I told them, because even to this day, right now, I can't do a backflip into a pool off a diving board. I can't do a backflip on a trampoline, but I do perfect front flips all day long.
Perfect. Yeah.
My brain lets me do fronts and just won't let me do backs. So I told my friends, I was like, I didn't want to tell Travis, because, he would have never believed me. He probably would have been like, no, you can't use my pit, because that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. You're going to do a front flip. So that's where debate from front to back comes into play. because
Yeah,
they
there's
got
no
me on film.
proof of
Same.
you saying I want a front flip.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah,
back
yeah.
said. But in the real world, like 2 people know on this entire planet that I was going to do a front flip. And, that's all I need because, for it. And so at that point in time, like Travis just did that. And at that point in time, he was just coming back to the house. And he was coming down the steps from the house to the shop. And he saw me arc above his shop. And he was like, oh no, because he knew exactly where I was. He heard the crash, and like you can see in the video, Travis coming into frame. Like if you watch the extended version, Travis comes into frame in an orange shirt because he ran down the hill, and he comes up to me and he's like, he checks on me basically. Like he was like the first one there. And then Greg Godfrey was the one that, because he was just standing there, like he had just, and he had a camera and he just picked it up and pointed at me just for shits and giggles. And that's the other angle. So I had one of my friends in the tree on a ladder, and that's the main angle from the side that you see. And that was my buddy Wayne Gessford. He was the one that said you can go twice as fast. Then from behind, like the better angle, better quality footage angle, was Greg Godfrey, that he just picked up a camera and just happened to hit record. Like it was post. And that was the first time I met him too. The
Godfrey boys are from Utah as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then that happened. And then another funny story of that was as soon as it happened, Robert Pastrana, Travis's dad, happened to be standing there. And I don't know what I got to do to get this 911 call, but I need it someday, somehow, because I know it's got to be recorded. It's 911, right? So it's got to exist.
Yeah.
It's July 21st of 2004. July 21st, 2004. Roughly around, it was between 10 and 2, somewhere in that bracket. Was the 911.
We got to get this call.
Yeah.
He calls 911 and he's like, and if you know anything about Robert at all, like from the old days, like he's just a surly old bastard. Like he just doesn't really give a shit about anything. He's like, calls up and he's like, and to hear him tell it, like he's like, hey, yeah, we're gonna need an ambulance or coroner or whatever you guys need to send to 50 Governor Bridge Road because there's a dead guy here. And
Holy shit.
he didn't like go check on me.
Yeah.
He just called 911 and said there was a dead guy. And like as he's talking to him, he's like, I don't know. They're like, is he dead? And he's like, I don't know for sure. But they're like, well, can you tell us? And like he's like, all right. And he's on the phone and he like walks up to me. He's like, hey, you dead?
Dude.
He's like, well, you better send somebody fast on second thought because I've seen dead guys look better than this guy. And
That's amazing.
yeah, so like I really want that 911 call at some point. But so it's funny because the first people to show up was like this crowd of cops. I'm talking like just like cop car after cop car after cop car after cop car shows up, right? Because they were already dispatched to Travis's house because his truck was recognized for killing somebody off the side of this bridge.
Oh my god, the timing of that.
And then you said there's a dead guy on the property. It's like, oh my god, it's adding up. The evidence.
That's amazing.
So, but it's funny because once they got there and figured everything out, and then it was like just a film thing, and like, okay, it was just like our local famous dude, like as a kid messing around, like who cares? But like when they saw me, and then they saw the bike, saw the bike, and they were like, well, doesn't look like we're chasing you anymore this summer. Like, nobody could believe it because like everybody thought I was talking shit, that I was always like, that they were looking for me. Like everybody thought that I was like, and like they were like, as soon as he said that, and then like I smiled and I was like,
You fuckers forgot me.
Did you end up breaking anything? Because I thought I heard that you broke both legs.
Everybody says I broke my back, broke my legs. The actual injury list from that crash was, so I actually planted my left foot on the very, 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 very edge of the foam pit in an effort to try to kind of tumble out of it, like parkour roll to like absorb as much fall as I could. So it was like my left foot, and as soon as I put that down, pretty much every bone, like every small bone in my left foot just exploded. Like the surgeons were like, it looks like somebody set an M80 off in your foot. Like that's all the small bones broke. And then at the same time, because I pushed, like I hit and pushed, it detached my left calf at the same time. That all like sucked up all the way like into my left butt cheek, like. And then as I was falling, I went and planted my right foot on the ground just outside of the because like it was left foot on the foam pit, right foot to the ground. And then the ground, like when that happened, my leg torqued super hard. So it was like my femur bone like came down and like where the tib fib like meets. So like at that connection, it just like my femur like torqued to the right, and it tore MCL, PCL in one shot, and partially tore my LCL. I have no cartilage meniscus or in my right knee whatsoever. I need to get I was thinking about starting to GoFundMe to save Streetbike Tommy's leg soon. Yeah. I do need to revisit surgery to my right knee because it's like really starting to bug me now. Because I started running.
If Andy Roy could make a GoFundMe and get a whole new set of teeth, you can save your leg.
Because like I'm having so much trouble out of my right ankle and right knee. It's getting to the point where it's like hard to even like sleep and like walk around in my day-to-day life. That's to this day the only injury that plagues me daily is the street bike thing.
Yeah,
really, that's the only stunt
that started my career, and I've done things that rival that. You know, Barbie Jeep.
Yeah, that's the one I was gonna say, where you go under the ramp.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I actually my body spun because I hit my head so hard being horizontal. Like I was horizontal in the air, and the weight of me hitting a 4x4 spun my 280-pound body.
Yeah.
Like with my face. So like
that one's a brutal one for sure.
Yeah, that, and then the Mustang car flip with Jim DeChamp like should have took me out because like he came off of that so unfortunately. Like
I remember that.
That was in the movie, right?
He's like,
yeah,
that dude, chopper flopper. Like they wanted me to go. Like I actually think people don't know like how like I got a sixth sense about being able to see how I'm gonna crash. And they weren't gonna move this camera boat, and I was like, they hit the throttle, and I let go of that cord like 3 or 4 times because I wouldn't go until they moved the camera boat, because they were like, well, if you're coming for us, we'll just back up.
Sound logic.
Yeah.
No, move it. And they moved it barely, but just enough to where I was like okay with it. And in the 3D movie where you see me do the chopper flopper, where I flop, there's a red camera boat that like I like splashed like right in front of. That boat I would have landed in perfectly, like
dead.
And like, dude, it's funny because as soon as I land, pay attention, and you'll see that boat start to back up. Like, huh? Like I was already, and it that was their plan. And then like the boat,
A little delayed.
yeah, that boat over the lake, the jet boat that I almost drowned.
Oh yeah.
Was that in Utah?
Yeah,
That was at
that
the
was in,
Utah lake, right?
St. George.
Oh, it was in St. George.
Now,
And
with having such a major production like the movie and having Tremaine be involved, is he like how he is with all the other guys from Jackass? Is he like trying to convince you to do things that you just know that you're gonna get so fucked up?
Well, he didn't really have to convince us like a lot.
Yeah.
Like we were, and like Jeff wasn't in, like, let me just get this out of the way. Right. So like he wasn't involved in the movie.
Oh, he wasn't.
No, if Jeff was involved with the movie, I guarantee you it would have been a blockbuster. It would have been tenfold the movie that it was. It just, you know, I don't know what happened, you know, because, you know, there's always politics and everything, and that's above my pay. All I am is stunt meat. So, like we were green lit for a third season on MTV, and some discrepancies happened between, you know, those guys. There was something that happened above anything that I would ever know about. And I think there was a little discrepancy between like MTV and Red Bull, but I'm not sure. But we were greenlit for a third season, and I guess they couldn't come to an understanding. It's like greed has killed the Nitro brand since day one. You know, and that has nothing to do with me because I don't make those decisions. But so that killed us on MTV. And then next thing you know, Jersey Shore took our spot, and that's history. And our movie was done privately by Godfrey Entertainment, and then we had offers from Sony, Paramount, Universal. Like everybody saw the film and was like, we'll buy it. But you know, I don't know what, you know, deals went down or whatever, but basically they weren't happy with like what they wanted to release as like a actual like for real theater release. And we were released through Arc Entertainment, which is just some tiny little movie house. And I think we hit like 6,000 screens. And nobody knew about it. Like nobody knew when it came out. Like even like my really good friends had no clue that the movie was even out.
Yeah.
I just want to say for the record, I did go see it in theaters.
Yeah, I went and saw it in theaters too. I don't care what anybody says. I love that movie, dude. It was so rad.
Dude, well, we were highly rated. Like, I mean, even like when it hit Netflix, like we were like super highly rated Netflix release. And it just seems like greed has killed the brand, because after that, you know, it basically tanked monetarily. So it didn't make what they put in it, and they had to, you know, sell off the brand, and it was bought by an Australian promoter, which was Mike Pora from Nitro Circus. Bought the Nitro Circus Live brand and started the tour in Australia. And at that point, then he owned the entire brand Nitro Circus. And then it just became like what it is today, which is basically a touring monster. Like all it does is tour, which I'm not anymore because I really can't do anything. Like what I do is like a one take wonder. You know, I do things that'll live forever. Like I'm, you know, sound bites, stunts, but live tour, you have to do day in, day out, day in, day out. And like when I toured, my job was basically like, you know, and like they don't want to pay me for that. So it's like, you know, I'm not part of that anymore. But when people always ask me, they're always like, you know, are you part of Nitro Circus? And I'm like, bitch, I created Nitro Circus. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, you know, or if like somebody verbally is like, why do they keep you around? And I'm like, fuck you. Why do I keep me around? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, you obviously don't know the history of Nitro, if you like that, because it really pisses me off. Like when I get stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, you like just recently discovered Nitro, didn't you? Because like the thing, man, like I've just never gotten along with the top brass of Nitro as much as I guess I should. Like I love everybody personally, but on the business side of things, I've never had. And they, business like wise, they don't really have like a family. Like they say family a lot, but they don't, because I mean, there's nobody around from the original crew. Like Andy was the first to go. Jim hurt himself, got out because he just can't really do much anymore. Roner passed away. They no longer use Jolene. I don't know what happened. They never treated Jolene right, like ever. And then like I was like the last one to get kind of pushed out because I'm not like one of these kids out sending it for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as Nitro, like the what Nitro is, like Nitro is my family. Like those are my best friends on the. I call everybody regularly. Like we see each other when they're in town. We hang out. But as far as being part of like the business, it's crazy, man. Like there was never really any loyalty with Nitro, which I feel like that was the downfall, because like Jackass has always been, a family. Like they've from the beginning, like each person like kind of they kept the same people around and like brought them up, because they had their own shows. Steve-O had, Wild Boys with Pontius, and Viva La, really awesome. And, it's unfortunate to see what they're going through currently. But, everybody still cares about everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of like the draw, is that they're a family and they've stuck together over all these years. But the unfortunate thing with Nitro is that it hasn't been that.
Damn, dude. Well, that really makes me sad to hear that, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, no, like we're still a family.
Yeah. But like, I get it though. Like with what we do, you can't really like do like live acts and like make it a constant touring thing.
I know. I love that you brought up that like sound bites and video will live forever, because like that's why we do this. I feel we want to live on legacy, because we're not gonna have kids, probably not, shouldn't at least. So I feel like that is our children, is the video edits that we put out into the world.
Yeah, just kind of personality and stuff. Like when I do live shows, I just it's for like at most, like the biggest show we ever did was like 35,000 people in South Africa. Wow. But like I can do that on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I get like the touring part, and I love touring. I do. But they don't really pay me. Like they I'm a seasoned guy. I'm, almost 20 years into this. Like I help create the brand. I'm a well-known name. People come to see me, right? So like you should pay me for the tickets that I'm selling, correct? But like they don't. They're just like, oh well, you're just kind of there, and like you do some emceeing, and I'm like, but that's not why I'm important to the brand. Like
Just respect. Yeah.
They'll pay you as little as possible, and that's anything in life, anybody in life. That's not just Nitro, that's anybody in life. They'll pay you as little as they possibly. But that's kind of why I kind of haven't been that involved in everything recently, because they went in another direction.
Yeah. Now, do you with the Explosion show, are you guys still filming for that, or
COVID kicked that in the dick too, man? They were kicking around a second season, and they extended my contract like three times, and they kept us on the hook, for a long time. And then they finally were just like, when COVID wasn't letting up, they were like, yeah, we're just not going to go that way so we're not doing a second season on that either. So
That's
COVID
frustrating.
really effed me over, but I'm in a better place mentally than I have been in a very long time, because like I really found out what I enjoy in life.
It's good, man.
I'm a craftsman. I like adventuring, so like I've been overlanding a lot with my truck, and like
Mhm.
getting out in nature and really enjoying it. And I actually picked up hunting too,
That's cool.
because like, my cooking background, I love getting fresh, natural meat.
Dude,
Yeah.
roguing it out, bro.
Yeah. So actually, this episode is going to be sponsored by True Boy Barbecue. Our first sponsor is it's a barbecued meat company from down here in Texas.
No way.
Yeah, and it's honestly some of the best meat I've ever had in my life. Yeah.
Well, now I want some Tommy fucking brisket.
Yeah, right.
On there.
And then maybe we'll have
And
barbecue
if you're
later.
interested, I could link you up with them, dude. I'm sure they'd be happy to send you some.
Yeah. Yeah.
I work with a few companies, but the True Boy?
Yeah, True Boy Barbecue. Yep.
All right, dude, I'll look them up for sure. Cause
Yeah.
that's my shit.
Yeah, they're out of Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're really dope because they send it to your house and it comes in this like dry ice cooler.
Hashtag ad.
Yeah, hashtag plugging away. Yeah, and like you can straight up eat it as soon as you get it. Yeah, but it's really
No,
good.
dude, because it's so hard to find like quality meat. Like you're not gonna find it at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get that injected this, injected that, and then like it meets USDA, but that's not really saying much. So I mean, to get quality product to cook with and put into your body, like you really have to source it from places like True Barbecue.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the brand, so like I haven't looked it up, but I'm just going by like anybody that is like in online sales like that, like they kind of are held to a higher standard because they have to be.
Mhm. Yeah.
So like I'll do my research and check them out for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that'd
Give
be
us
cool.
some feedback.
Yeah, yeah. It's because we literally just started this podcast from the ground up. Like brand new YouTube page, brand new Instagram. We're trying to promote the shit out of it and trying to find sponsors right off the rip with no subscribers or it's so. And I've worked with them in the past as far as like Instagram goes. So they're like, yeah, we'll send you as much meat as you want. And just plug away. And I was like, dude, if you want to fill my fridge so I don't have to spend money on groceries, so be it. Like I'm down.
Yeah.
Healthy like you're doing right now, it's hard to kind of keep that that going with like, because everything costs so much,
Yeah.
like grocery shopping for me, because I have an all meat diet. So like I'll go to the grocery store and I'll buy enough for me for the week, and I'm like $250. I'm like, how in the hell does that even happen? Like I got
Shit.
Yeah. And every time I was with Steve-O a while back, and every time I'm with him,
Hashtag brag.
shut the fuck up. Yeah, and every time I'm with him, he's like, "Yo, dude, have you tried going vegan yet?" And because he swears going vegan is like the best thing besides like
That's what vegans do.
Getting sober. And
That's what sober people and vegans people do.
Yeah, and like obviously Steve-O was a huge inspiration for me as far as like the sobriety aspect goes.
dude, I love
Yeah, and so I was like, all right, maybe I'll try going vegan. And
For what, one day?
I couldn't do it. I just love meat way too
You
much.
didn't even try, bro.
No, I did. I really did.
For how long?
I think I got a week.
It's not trying.
Yeah.
don't eat your vegetables at all.
Yeah.
You don't eat vegetables at all?
No, I got a texture issue. As soon as I like bite into something, like I gotta throw up. Like it just doesn't.
Oh,
What it is.
same.
Dude, I was that way with potatoes for a long time. I couldn't keep
Yeah.
potatoes down. I would just throw up. Same with bananas when I was a kid. I couldn't
Really?
eat bananas, dude. Something about it made me want to fucking gag.
I'm the same way with gravy and beans. I'm like,
It's so
fuck this
funny.
shit.
You get it.
Yeah.
But it's like all fruits and vegetables for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
So Tommy, any upcoming projects coming up? Do you plan on after COVID maybe opening up another restaurant or anything like that?
Eventually, I'm gonna touch on the restaurant stuff in the future, because I figured out what I did, right and wrong. And I that's the education that I could have ever had as far as like business and stuff like that goes. But my next kind of step is to kind of really do for myself. Like I'm doing construction and stuff to just kind of keep the bills paid and stuff like that. But my goal is to really start YouTube and stuff like that, where it's like my own footage, and then just kind of have, kind of like what you guys are doing, round up, you know, get a little small going, and you know, just do what I truly love, you know.
Yeah, that's.
Dude, I'd love to see some vlogs from you, man.
I would have loved to see street bike react videos.
Yeah.
To like Twitter, TikTok. Street bike react to TikTok. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, because that's what, like I said, we started this from the ground up, and the end goal for me at least is I want to buy a ranch somewhere down here. We're leaning towards more Austin area. And I wanna make my own Pastrana land, Castle Bam, you know, and so we could just do whatever the fuck we want without anybody telling us any different, you know. So that's the end goal. And
his name is Vinny. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah,
I'm just shaking things up a bit.
Yeah. But Tommy, is there you want to plug anything? Your Instagram, if your anything you got going on right now?
You know, Instagram, street_bike_Tommy, because some dickhead kid had Streetbike Tommy when I started it, and then like let me change it from Streetbike Tommy's page to Streetbike Tommy's fan page so he could keep it.
Genius marketing though.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm verified on Instagram and Facebook, but not Twitter. My Twitter is at Streetbike Tommy. That's pretty easy stuff. But
mark right now.
In particular, just wanted to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, man. Again, we appreciate it so much. It's it really is an honor to have you on, especially for our first guest. And like Blazer said, like we set the bar fucking high for the second episode.
Dude, this has been really fun.
Yeah. Awesome.
They've got some cool inside information.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we went deep.
Yeah.
Great.
Tommy, after we stop rolling, I'll send you the True Boys information, and I'll link you guys up.
Oh, definitely do that.
Yeah.
Guys, this has been...
Wait.
Yeah.
I want to make it tradition around here.
Don't fuck with me.
Fuck.
Every time we
Please
have
don't
a
fuck with
guest,
me.
I'm not
Please
gonna
don't
fuck
fuck with
with
me.
you. Chill.
God damn
Every
it.
time we have a guest, I want to close out the segment with a random act of stupidity.
Ugh,
Film this with your phone.
Immediately, my heart is in my fucking stomach.
All right,
Hold on.
just keep rolling on this.
Fucking like seriously, don't fuck with me.
I'm not gonna fuck with you. That was not the plan.
God, I don't want to get tased right now at all.
So I got a taser.
Jesus. All right.
And I wanted to close out this episode with a random act of
We got
stupidity.
Streetbike Tommy.
If you thought licking a deep battery was bad,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
fuck me. Ah!
Get it, son.
All right.
Oh my god, my whole fucking tongue is numb. All right, well, I want to get a better shot. Oh, dude. That's so scary.
That shit looks charged as fuck.
Oh, fuck! Oh, dude, my whole tongue is... It feels weird to talk. Oh, my God. That was just for you, dude. Holy shit. It does just feel like a fucking D battery on fucking steroids to where the tip of my tongue is kind of numb, dude.
Hell yeah.
Well, guys, this has been an amazing second episode of the Moist Cheeks podcast. Tommy, again, thank you for doing this. It was a lot of fun.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, guys, we have Patreon, we have Instagram, we have our Instagrams. Follow us on everything. Subscribe on everything. And
we should hang out sometime. That would actually be sick.
Yeah. No, dude, when I left LA and I went on that 7-week road trip, I DM'd him. I was like, yo, dude, I'm like touring around the country right now, seeing like where I can get into some shenanigans. He's like, hit me up when you come through Maryland.
Hell yeah.
Like just like that. And somehow I think our schedules, like we were just not the right place at the right time. Yeah.
Like, my day-to-day changes. So
Yeah.
it sucks. But like I'll come down to Texas, man. We'll get together.
Oh, for sure.
Hell yeah,
That
bro.
would be amazing. Again, guys,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us, Tommy. Thank you again. You.